One great day in North Florida. You guys are here with God Tier Scouting. Cole, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. Today has been a crazy day, especially in the NFL. Cole, you want to jump into the injury report and give an update on that, please?
Yeah, holy shit, what a tough weekend for injuries, man. You got Derrick Henry looking like he's gonna, yeah, man,
Crazy.
King Henry at least out for the remainder of the fantasy season. He might be coming back if the Titans make it to the playoffs, but that's a bad foot injury there. We also got Jameis Winston with what looks like an ACL tear. I'm not sure if they've confirmed that yet. And then we've got James Robinson with a heel bruise. They came out and said it was today. He will be day-to-day, so he could be back this weekend.
Have you ever had a heel bruise before?
I have not.
They kind of suck.
It sounds pretty terrible. Anyways, Sam Darnold as well. We got a concussion for him. He should be back next week if there's no setbacks. Jalen Reagor from the Eagles, wide receiver, ankle injury. Not really a lot of updates there. T.Y. Hilton had a concussion, possibly will return next week, maybe not, with the injury to his neck he sustained early in the season. He might have a little bit more of a concussion protocol emphasis on his ass. So Damian Williams, knee injury, unsure of the severity. Bears have not said anything yet. So
Damn.
And that's Tuesday, so that's not really great for him. That's it for my injury report on the fantasy applicable players, at least. How about some thoughts on the week, Eric?
I'll give you a little update on some dudes not dealing with injury. Well, Calvin Ridley, it's more like an emotional injury, I guess you can say. Calvin Ridley is taking some time away from football at the moment to focus on his mental illness, and he wants to better himself. I really respect it. I feel like more people need to take time out these days. You know, they really work very, very hard. They can stress themselves out, and they focus and pay attention on what's important.
A lot more emphasis.
Your self-health, you know. And then Henry Ruggs got a DUI this morning, and the car crash was fatal. Not for Henry Ruggs, because he got a DUI, but someone did die in the car accident, so Henry Ruggs is in boiling water right now. This has been a very dramatic year for the Raiders in general. Now losing Henry Ruggs in a very horrific situation and losing John Gruden as a head coach. They're going to try to figure things out, but very, very unfortunate there. And then last but not least, the trade deadline ended today at 4 o'clock, and no one had picked up Deshaun. The Dolphins came out and said that they had discontinued the process due to the civil issues going on, which makes a whole lot of sense. I also believe the Texans were trying to sell a very high 3 first-round picks minimum. I don't disagree with that value. I would give a whole lot away to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but you can't right now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of risk.
But that being said, those are the updates we have right now, guys. It's kind of crazy. We got guys like Calvin Ridley and Derrick Henry out for the year. But, you know, let's turn it around a little bit and spark up some positivity with our 3 for 4. Cole, shoot me with your favorite 3 players with their stock rising at the moment.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with Debose Samuel, the San Francisco 49ers. Debo took a screen on 3rd and 20, 83 yards.
He does that.
He's called like down on the 1-yard line, but he ended up finishing that game with 6 receptions for 171 yards, which accounted for more than half of Jimmy Garoppolo's passing yards on the day. So that's pretty freaking impressive there.
I want to add one thing. He dropped like 3 balls, like bad drops, and then kept feeding him. They like really do believe in Debo over there.
Yeah, they've got lots of faith in this guy. And then secondly, shout out to somebody that's not too far away right now, but shout out to Connor for Mike White, New York Jets quarterback. Holy shit, 37 of 45 for 405 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 interceptions, but yeah, that on there, the QBR was still at 108, and that's pretty crazy for his first ever start. And no other team to do it against other than the freaking Bengals, which looked like one of the top AFC teams, but I mean, who the hell is the top AFC team at this point?
Yeah.
But awesome start for him, and hopefully if he deserves it and if he can keep this up, he can find somewhere else to play because that is Zach Wilson's team all day.
Yes, sir.
And then finally, I'm going to wrap it up with another quarterback here, Justin Fields, quarterback, Chicago Bears. Looked like a magician, dude. Pretty fun to watch him. Even with the loss, he showed some serious promise.
Yeah.
Fields was rolling out consistently. He was able to throw on the move without problems. If there was nobody open, he just takes off, and he took off with his legs. Looked so impressive. 10 rushes, 103 yards. Whew. Some serious athletic plays, and some of which only a few NFL quarterbacks that I've ever seen can pull off. So pretty good day from him. But I'll turn it over to you.
My first guy, Mr. Michael Carter, a guy who I traded away in like game 2 or 3 because I was desperate for a wide receiver, but I regret that decision now. Michael Carter came into camp with a crowded running back room, and he made the most of his opportunity, and he was splitting reps at the beginning of the season, but they've just been feeding him and giving him more targets, and now he's really coming to his own. The last 2 games, he's had 23 total targets, which is insane. 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games.
Damn.
Yeah, as a rookie on the Jets, he's exceeding expectations. And last game, he had 32 points. I'm sure he wants people some games. He won me my game. Second guy, Mr. Michael Pittman. There's debate going around if he's a wide receiver 1. I do think he's a wide receiver 1.
Holy
50-50 guy. He's averaging 15 points a game right now, and it's only getting better. Carson Wentz has started to just feed him, and he's balling. 2 touchdowns last game. And then my last guy, Jonathan Taylor. Taylor, I know people were getting very impatient with this guy. Had a very slow start, but now he's the number 3 running back. 6 touchdowns his last 5 games. 3 out of the last 5 games, he's been rushing for over 100, and I'm talking like 150, 160 yards. And this is not receiving. This is strictly on the ground, rushing the ball.
He's for real.
He's averaging 3 targets. I mean, I wish he would get more targets, but what can you do? And he's averaging 20 points a game now. He's an instant lock on any team, running back 1. So good for Michael Carter. Now to jump back into some negativity, we'll talk about these 3 players with their stock falling. Cole, I'll throw it back to you.
All right. One of the guys that a lot of us had talked about at the beginning of the season is Anthony Gibson. Anthony Gibson, running back, our Washington football team. He was out-touched this weekend by Antonio Gibson. Yeah, I don't know where I got Anthony from. Antonio Gibson, though, was out-touched by Jarrett Patterson, his backup on Sunday. He only got 8 touches for 34 yards. And he looked like somebody who was a potential sleeper candidate or a running back 1 candidate in the beginning of the season, or before the season, rather. But he has not reached 100 yards in this season as far as rushing goes. And even that's when he's been given 20 touches 2 times. I mean, that's a lot of touches. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about that, and then you look at him getting out-touched now by his backup. It might be the end of his viability at all as a fantasy option, to be quite honest with you. But it's just not good for his outlook. My second guy here, I hate to have him on here, but he didn't really play too well, is Taylor Heinicke. Unfortunately, 39 attempts for Heinicke, only completed 24 passes, and he threw 2 interceptions. He's also sacked 5 times. He did throw 1 touchdown, but I mean, I like this guy a lot. He'll probably bounce back, but you just can't do that and win the game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. My last guy on here is a boneheaded plays he's made. Let's say that. In the past 2 weeks, Jared Goff, quarterback of the Detroit Lions, Goff threw away the ball on 4th down for the second time in 3 weeks on this weekend. So he's looking a little rough right now.
Yeah, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, it looks like he was truly a result of that system in LA, and that's not that insane to us. If we look at Matthew Stafford leaving Detroit, he was able to do what he's done so far this season. You look at Jared Goff being moved from that system that Matthew Stafford's killing it in now into this system, and what is he supposed to do, man? It's not even really all his fault, it's Detroit. But that's a come on man moment, and I expect that to appear on the Come On Man show. So I'll pass that back to you for your top 3.
All right, number 1, Rob Gronkowski. Simple. He's old and he can't stay healthy. He's probably going to get his best football this year in the playoffs when he's completely healed. Right now, I would not touch this guy. I want to put him near your lineup. I would consider dropping him. Like, he's broken, dude. He's going to struggle, and he's not going to be better until he takes the right amount of time off and completely heals. because we saw it. He tried to come in and play against the Saints, a very aggressive defense, and he didn't. Sorry about that. He didn't make it at halftime. And then someone that Cole mentioned, Antonio Gibson. Not only is he losing touches to his backup running back, he's also losing touchdowns to the third down back, J.D. McKissick, who I am a fan of. Gibson is facing a shin injury, and he's been battling this shin injury for like 4 or 5 games now. And the correct and logical decision would be to sit him like Gronkowski, let him get better, and bring him back. But when you're in a desperate situation like Washington and you're trying to, play your best football, I guess, you make aggressive decisions and you decide to play Gibson, and it's not turning out well for him or fantasy owners. So it is what it is. He's losing touches not only to the backup running back, like I said, but to J.D. McKissick as well.
Yeah.
And then the last guy, it's a pair. Just to give you guys a heads up, Chubba Hubbard and Davonte Booker, 2 guys who've been playing very good football recently, will finally be back on the bench because we're assuming Saquon and Christian McCaffrey will be coming back. It is a little unfortunate. I mean, I'm glad those guys are healthy, but Chubba Hubbard and Davonte Booker have been so insanely clutch in fantasy.
Well, yeah, we've been seeing Davonte Booker around the league for a few years now, looking like he needs a job somewhere. Yeah. And then Chubba Hubbard, shout out to him because he won my girlfriend a couple games after I picked him up for her.
But those are my 3 guys.
Glad to see Saquon back, by the way. I really would like for him to stay healthy, man. He is so fun to watch when he's healthy. But yeah, man, we're going over the waiver wire pickups.
3 waiver pickups. I can start this. We talked about Heine Ruggs, getting in a car accident, killing someone.
Yeah.
That happening. I'm assuming he's not going to be playing football this Sunday. So you should go pick up my guy Bryan Edwards, number 89 on the Raiders. I noticed his type of play. He's a possession wide receiver. They use him in clutch situations, especially towards the end of the game. I expect his role to be picked up, especially, I don't know if he can be that deep man like Henry Ruggs was, especially as efficient as Henry Ruggs was. But Bryan Edwards is going to get more exposure in the game, and so I keep your eyes on him.
He's somebody who, sorry to interrupt you, but he's somebody who I put on my, rising list a few weeks back at the beginning of the season, and that was before this happened, so I would definitely listen to this man right here.
Sir. Next guy, Russell Gage. So you're talking about how Calvin Ridley is out now, and he's going to be out for a while. So they have it's not Shane, Tajay Sharp and Russell Gage. I personally like Russell Gage more. He's missed a few games this season, unfortunately. But when he's played when he has competed and actually performed, he's averaged 6.3 targets. And he's managed to find the end zone once. He's only played 3 games this year. But I think he is definitely better than Tajay Sharp. If you're going to try to figure out, they're both on the waiver right now. It's Tajay Sharp and Russell Gage. I recommend you take Russell Gage first and then Tajay, assuming he doesn't get injured. But Russell's been there a lot longer. He knows the playbook better, and he's playing very confident football right now. Last guy, Gronklin. I like to call him Gronklin. Tight end for the Minnesota Vikings. So he has been sort of like a crutch for Kirk Cousins in recent games, especially when he gets desperate. It's like a check down guy. He's also very open on play action passes as well. And the first play out the gate against the Cowboys, he mossed the daylights out of one of their corners on like a 30 or 40 yard bomb.
Should have picked him up, yeah.
Playing very confident football. I like him a lot, and he's getting a lot of targets. 3 favorite guys, Bryan Edwards, Russell Gage. Those guys especially just because the number ones in their teams are not playing right now.
Yeah.
And then Gronklin. So pass it back over to you, Cole.
Start off by saying that I picked up, had this dilemma because I have Darren Waller on a bye last week, and I picked up Ricky Seals-Jones instead of Jeremy Conklin, and I really should have done that. So I really should have picked up Conklin there. Anyways, I'm going to start my list off with tight end from my very own Jacksonville Jaguars, just like Eric started off with his finished off with his tight end from the Vikings. So we got Dan Arnold, man, tight end for the Jags. Dude,
I like Dan.
4% rostered. He's definitely available in your leagues, and that's because nobody knows his name, and nobody really knows why he's not been successful. This guy's a converted tight end to a wide receiver. A converted wide receiver to a tight end. It's a little bit smaller, and he's really just meant for the passing game. But he's now the Jaguars' starting tight end.
Yeah, he's playing good. It was like that.
Yeah, he's been real good. We actually traded C.J. Henderson away for him, and then Dan Arnold has seen at least 5 targets in each game, and he's posted 10 targets against Seattle on Sunday. He's also posted 2 top 10 fantasy finishes in the tight end stat category in that stretch, with 6 receptions for 64 yards and 8 receptions for 68 yards.
That ain't bad, boy.
Yeah, dude, he's considered a low-end tight end 1, so he's even higher than a streamer, I would say. If you are not carrying a big-name tight end, you could pick this guy up and potentially have a pretty solid guy for the rest of the season. My next guy on here might not be available in your leagues. He may or may not, but according to Yahoo.com, he's rostered only 35% of teams, and that's Davonte Parker, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins.
That's crazy, 35%.
I know, I don't understand, but you know why it is? Because he's been injured. So he's missed 3 games after some injuries. He returned last week to a full-time role out of the gate. So he put up 8 catches for 85 yards. He's looking like a top target for Tua, who also returned from injury. And that you should take advantage of that because he has top 75 yards in 3 of his 5 games that he's played in this season. And he's a flex or wide receiver 3 option until proven right now if he's available in your league. So he's a guy that you would stash on the bench right now and see how he plays maybe this week. If he plays pretty well, I would definitely start him. My final guy here is a product of injury, and that's Jeremy Mcnichols, running back for the Tennessee Titans, 7% rostered right now. Adrian Peterson is 36. He's going on 37 in a few months. He'll be 37 years old. That makes Peterson a serviceable guy, potentially, but Mcnichols should see more involvement as a pass catcher out of the backfield, at least, due to the loss of Henry. Henry's absence, unless Peterson just reverse ages 10 years somehow, should increase the targets for Mcnichols and his involvement in offense in general, because they're going to have to throw the ball more. They don't have Derrick Henry to give 30 touches a game anymore. They're not going to give that to Peterson. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to have to change their game plan up, and that should be something that we should capitalize as fantasy players. We should capitalize on that. With that being said, I have top 3 matchups. Am I passing that back to you, man?
Alrighty. So I got Vikings versus Ravens. So this is a very typical Minnesota Vikings thing to do. Lose a game to a backup quarterback in a prime time, aka Dallas Cowboys, at home, and piss every single Minnesota Vikings fan off to where they want to rip their hair out, where they want the coaches fired, they want the teams to quit playing so we don't have to watch them and just get sad every Sunday. And then they come and bounce back and just have an outstanding game like this. It's going to happen. Vikings are going to play the Ravens very well. The Ravens are going to run all over Minnesota. I expect it to be very high scoring. Ravens are definitely going to win, though. I give Ravens 3 points. Justin Tucker's going to ice it up and finish the game well. But this is Vikings fashion. Right now, I'm so angry and I want Zimmer fired, but they're going to come and just play lights out against the Ravens, and it's going to make us, reconsider everything. It's going to be so stupid. Chargers versus Eagles. Chargers are playing lackluster football right now, and Eagles are playing decent football. I like their coach, Sirianni. I think he's doing a pretty good job right now.
Jalen Hurts, too, man.
Jalen Hurts. They did something so sneaky the other day against Detroit. Everyone and their mother was anticipating Kenneth Gainwell coming in and taking all the reps. And they brought up Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. And they had no tape on these guys. And these guys got 2 touchdowns each. They blew out Detroit. Kenneth Gainwell didn't even touch the ball until the 4th quarter. They're just sneaky. People who may be doubting Kenneth Gainwell, they're going to mix him back up in the roster again. I don't think there's anything saying, this guy is here and this guy is here. It is all about game plan and how they're going to beat this team. So I'm going to play Kenneth Gainwell again this week. But I do expect a very good game. Eagles are going to compete for sure with the Chargers. I really do think the Chargers are going to win this game, though. I'm going to give them 7 points. Last but not least, Panthers versus the Patriots. This game I expect to be extremely boring, like 10-3, 17-10, 10-7. So Gilmore just left the Patriots. He signs with the Panthers. I expect him to have a big game against his old team.
Just got activated.
The interception, his first game back with the Panthers. Gilmore's not done. I like the Panthers upsetting the Pats in this one. I'm going to give the Panthers 3 points. So, give a little review. Vikings will play a very good game with the Ravens. Ravens won by 3. Chargers will play the Eagles. Will be another great game, but the Chargers should take care of the Eagles. Should. You hear the doubt in my voice. I wouldn't be surprised the Eagles punked them.
The Chargers are a cursed organization. So.
Yeah, I agree. And then last but not least, Pats versus Panthers, defensive matchup. If Darnold plays, I like the Panthers in this game. They can get after their quarterback, so we'll see what happens. Cole, who are your 3 favorite matchups?
All right, well, I've got, you know what, guys, I'm going to come out here and say this right now. This is the most confusing freaking year in the history since I've been alive in the NFL. I mean, we think one team is the best in the AFC. We think one team's the best in the NFC. They come back and they get beat, like we saw Arizona fall to Green Bay with all the COVID issues that they have at the time. And we are seeing a lot of just craziness in the NFL, which is awesome. I mean, we saw New Orleans get beat the Buccaneers, actually, sorry. So the Buccaneers got beat by New Orleans. We can see the Browns just sucking. We see Eric just letting out one there. And then the Denver Broncos blocking 2 field goals. What in the fuck is that? How often has that ever happened? Has that ever happened, actually, in modern era? I don't know. Now, my top 3, though, I'm going to start with number 3, and this one's only on the list because I will physically be there on Sunday.
Woo!
And, hopefully I can just harken back to the times when I was there for the playoff game back in 2017 against the Bills. But this is the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. I have no expectations here other than to walk out of that stadium a little sad and a little drunk. And that's the goal there. Maybe not the sad part, but at least get, litty while watching the Jags lose on Sunday.
Litty, dude.
Litty. Yeah, that was bad. Green Bay Packers versus Kansas City Chiefs is the next one I've got on here. KC needs a big win to get back on track right now, dude. Come on. I almost put Patrick Mahomes on my top 3 stock falling players just because, man, he's not playing like Patrick Mahomes this season. He's just not the guy that we've seen.
They're kind of overrated, dude.
Right now they are, but I think that they've got the weapons, they've got the talent at quarterback. I don't know what's going on with Mahomes. I think it's mental, if you're asking me honestly. I think he just needs to overcome whatever hurdle he has in his head right now. However, they're running out of time. This is the game, man. If you're going to come back and you start winning some football games, this is when you're going to have to put it out there on national television against the Green Bay Packers, who just beat the undefeated team in the NFL. And if you can do that, then we might consider you something for real. But, I mean, their defense is just so bad.
Yeah,
so bad.
Defense is so bad.
And then finally, I've got the Tennessee Titans versus Los Angeles Rams. This is a big matchup, man. No King Henry. Can the Titans function without Derrick Henry?
They're going to get slammed.
I fully expect them to lose this game. But, man, again, another opportunity to put it out there. The Los Angeles Rams just traded for Von freaking Miller. So I'm going to put it out there. Los Angeles Rams are my new favorite in the NFC.
Damn.
Yeah, we got Von Miller on one side. We got Aaron Donald out there. I mean, dude.
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey, who is a sore spot in my brain. Don't like to think about it. But, yeah, Jalen Ramsey's amazing. There's no surprise that he is the stud he is. And he brings that defense onto a whole nother level. But Titans have an opportunity to bring themselves back into the conversation here. All right, and that's it for my top 3. Anything else you want to say in the podcast this week, week 9?
I hope for better news next week. I don't want to hear about the sad stories of Calvin Ridley or Henry Ruggs.
Or all of the injuries that we saw. Like, what the hell?
Exactly. It's starting to get cold, baby.
Catastrophic weekend, dude. Like, all these injuries, the DUI. Oof.
I hope the next time we do this, Mike Zimmer is fired. I never want to see him again.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Hates you, Mike Zimmer.
But that does close our 3 for 4 I thought it went very well today. What do you think, Cole?
I think so as well. And I want to apologize for a little hiatus, man. Life has been getting in the way, but we're trying to get back on track here, and we intend to do so. So I appreciate you guys tuning in here tonight.
Hell yeah. Great day in North Florida.
Great day in North Florida.
Appreciate y'all tuning in.
You got our little old fashions here today. Y'all have a
already
great
finished
night.
them.
Have yourself one as well.